And welcome, you're here at Manifesting Your Dreams with Pablo Miguel in Las Vegas, and I'm so excited today. We have a power couple as guests today. You are going to be amazed, so get ready for the fantastic program. We're here with Jeff Ashby, who's visiting us from all over the USA pretty much, and with Marvin Higbee, who's here from Salt Lake City, Utah. And these guys are super busy, they're traveling around the country, they're building amazing businesses, and they happen to be in Las Vegas today, and they happen to have an hour to share with us. And for those of you that are joining us for the first time, Manifesting Your Dreams is about you reliving some of the dreams you had maybe when you were a little younger, maybe some of those dreams you put in the back burner, some things you wanted to create in your life. We want to inspire you to dream in color again. We want you to have tips, strategies that we can share so you can make it happen. And we do that based on this book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And basically there are 17 principles that all people that are successful actually apply. Sometimes they know they do them, sometimes they don't. And one of those principles, the one we're going to be covering today, is autosuggestion. How you can use autosuggestion or self-suggestion to make things happen. So it's really, there's no coincidence in the world, right? Because if there's somebody that really impressed me as far as having the ability to manifest their dreams, Jeff and Helen Ashby, and how they use autosuggestion. So you don't want to miss any of the 4 segments we have here today because you are going to be empowered. So Jeff, welcome to the show, and Marvin, I'm really grateful that you're spending some time with us. This is like, if anybody told me a week ago this was going to happen, I would say no way. So I'm glad that it is. So Jeff, why don't you take a few minutes and just share with your audience a little bit about yourself, you know, where you're from, where did you grow up, and things like that, so they get to know you a little better.
Sure will. Thank you, Pablo. Appreciate you putting this all together. And it was just less than 24 hours ago. I said they were going to be in Vegas, and I'm here with you. Had a chance to watch some of the other programming that you put together. Your guests that have been on talking about Think and Grow Rich, and it's just absolutely amazing. I'd like to share just a little bit of my background. I grew up, my father owned a company called Industrial Container and Supply in Salt Lake City. And so industrial containers, you can imagine all the vitamin bottles, the different pill bottles, all the way up to 55-gallon drums that they would provide for everybody. And well, a third of Utah's economy is all based on the network marketing.
Exactly.
You know, whether it's health supplements, mom-and-pop herb shops, network marketing companies. When I was 18 years old, I was delivering these empty bottles to these locations. And so I was there in the beginning of a lot of these companies. And now as we drive up and down the I-15 corridor, there's actually exits that are designated different companies as you go up the freeway. So absolutely amazing upbringing. But as I was driving, as I was delivering those bottles out there, my dad wanted me to do something more than that. In fact, it was instilled in me that where you'll be 5 years down the road will depend upon, at that point, it was the books you read, the tapes you listen to. You remember tapes?
Yep, tapes. I still have them. A lot of them.
And the people that you associate with. And so it was one of those situations where I took that to heart. And as I was in his delivery trucks, I would have the old headphones on. You remember it had the little steel thing and the foam cushions with a little orange on the side of them. I would wear those, and on the seat next to me was a cassette recorder. You know, it had a little pop-up top. You'd slide the cassette in, push it down, hit play, and away you go. Well, I just thought I could miss nothing. I mean, I was on my way, and 5 years later, I was no longer working for my dad's company.
Wow.
I'd accepted a position. He encouraged me to get employment outside of the family business. I found myself in a garbage truck. And I was out picking up other people's refuse, and I needed just to back up just a little bit, and probably my worst day in that garbage truck was over the 4th of July holiday. We're just coming up on the 4th of July, and I can remember having to get in that truck when everybody else was at my house having pizza and enjoying the holiday. I got a call, and I had to go get in my truck and go out to a grocery store, Smith's grocery store, where our recycling container was overflowing.
Oh my God!
That week they had so many.
Oh man!
I mean, it was the glass bin that had overflowed, and
Wow.
so I was out there picking up people's empty beer bottles, wine bottles, and putting them in there. And I can remember that as I would pick them up, I'd have to stand up on the step and put them in the hole where they were supposed to go. They would be dripping out, and I had my gloves soaked, I was soaked, and it's like here I was picking up somebody else's refuse, and the most difficult time I had was climbing back in that truck, putting those headphones back on and pushing play, because I thought, it's been 5 years, and nothing has changed for me. In fact, I'm worse off than I was.
Wow.
But I'll tell you what, just quickly from that point, because of what I was putting into my mind on a daily basis, it was just 2 years from there, I was an area vice president for the world's largest garbage company. I had 37 salespeople that reported to me in 7 states and parts of Canada.
Wow!
And that 2 years later, I had a bonus, a year-end bonus, that I paid more taxes on my year-end bonus than I made an entire year.
Wow!
So, yeah, it might be a little longer than 5 years, but it really depends upon what you put into your mind. So we'll get into that a little bit more as we get a chance.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you mentioned that, because so many times our society has this pervasive idea, right, that some people are more talented than others, or some people are really lucky, or that success actually happens so quickly, right? Oh, this person had an idea and they became successful, right? And when you get to know people that really have been successful and they really tell you the truth, then you find out some of the things that you said. How many people might have quit in 4 years, 2 years, 1 year? It's like we live in a society that has a microwave mentality where they want instant success, but for 5 years you were putting in, like, just watering that little seed, right? Putting all that good stuff into your mind, but also at one moment you made a decision, right? You said, okay, this is going in one direction, I need to crank it up a little bit, right? And that decision 2 years later took you to where, to where you ended up. So that's fantastic. So just know that when you pursue your dreams, you will have to pay the price, right? It's not just kind of like The Secret, kind of like sold the idea into like, oh, I just have to sit down and visualize what I want, right? And believe it for 5 minutes every day, and then it's going to show up, right? Like the pizza delivery guy, right? It doesn't work like that. Every single thought we have is created, every single one, right? So not just the ones that we have a couple of times during the day.
No, but we're going to talk about a way of how do you monitor your thoughts.
So that's what we like to know. How do you do that? So share that with us.
So I don't know how we are time-wise.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, we can get into that here a little bit. I mean,
okay, so we're gonna save that for the next segment. So then, Marvin, we'd like to know a little bit about your background, because I know you have a fascinating story as well.
Pablo, I'm really excited to be here today. I didn't know what the nature of this discussion was going to be about. It was kind of a surprise to me that I was even going to be here with Jeff.
Isn't that amazing? Life is like that, right?
See, it must have been something you manifested.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But what really is exciting for me is my mentor in the industry that I participate in is a guy by the name of Cheryl Hill. And he was the first instructor for the Napoleon Hill Academy.
No
now,
way!
They're not related.
Okay.
But he was the first instructor for that Napoleon Hill Academy. So I grew up learning at his feet. I actually knew him from the time I was a young man. And he was just a very dear friend. And he actually hired me at my very first job in the industry that I work in. He recently passed away, but he taught us, those of us who were fortunate enough to listen to him and experience it, how to really do things like manifest your destiny. I remember I was a government employee when I first graduated with a master's degree, and I went to work for the government thinking somehow I was going to change the world. And they paid me, I think I was making somewhere around maybe $14,000 to $17,000 a year as a government employee. I later, under the tutelage of my friend, when I went to work with him in a company, I later reached a point where I was making that much in a month.
Wow.
And I never thought that was even possible. I didn't understand the dynamics of how you can expand your belief system so that it'll take you from a point where it's almost beyond your belief of how you're struggling, you're wondering how you're going to pay your bills, you're wondering if you can go buy something extra in your life that you can't really afford, to being in a situation where you really can enjoy the abundance of what life really has to offer. And the difference really is really right here. In fact, he used to use a little thing that he would talk about is the distance between success and failure is this big. Exactly this big.
Wow.
And it goes right here.
Wow. That's a great
And so he used to teach us that all the time. Just remember, the distance between success and failure is this big. And, you know, it really was an impressive thing to be here today talking about Napoleon Hill, where I'd had the opportunity to learn at the feet of one of the masters of the Napoleon Hill Academy. Thank you.
That is fantastic. That is fantastic. And you say something that is so valuable because it doesn't matter where you are today, right? Is your life can change just with one decision, right? One decision,
you have
your
no
life can
idea.
change.
You actually have no idea how much you can actually change your life. And really, the opportunities are all around you. You just need to open your eyes and open your mind.
Pay attention, right? In other words, we have to pay attention because it's like we attract what we're thinking about. We notice what we're thinking about, right? So if you're thinking about negative things, or you're complaining about the economy or the politics or the politicians right now, whatever, then guess what you're going to attract? More of that stuff, right? And attract those kind of conversations.
So as a young man, I never thought that I'd travel the world. I remember my first airplane trip was at the age of 19. Now, I have been to probably over 70 countries.
70 countries.
I have met people from all different kinds of backgrounds in life. I've held children in my arms from every nation, every language. I speak Spanish fluently. I have had a very rich life, all because one person taught me how to expand my vision past myself.
That is amazing. And we have way more things to share with you because your life is really incredible. Both of your lives is really incredible. But what I want you to remember is that right now, you can make a decision that you want things to change, right? You want things to change, and there's always people willing to help you, to guide you, right? To mentor you, right? So if you're just visiting us, you're here in manifestingyourdreams.net. We're going to be back just in a couple of minutes with more stories from Marvin and Jeff, so we can help you, inspire you, we can help you manifest your dreams. So we'll be right back.